Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Metz. I'm a DHIS2 lead developer on VectorLink Collect for Abt Associates. I've been a member of PMI VectorLink Project since 2020.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Appel. I'm on the PMI VectorLink team as an application developer for almost 3 years now, and I've been working on building custom DHIS2 applications with my team.
Today, we will be presenting on solutions we've used throughout the course of the PMI VectorLink project for finding duplicates in DHIS2 event programs. We will talk about 4 solutions that have been developed over time that employ many different platforms and application with an emphasis on creating sustainable, comprehensive tools that can be used by country-level end users. First, before we explore these solutions, I'd like to start with an overview of the project. The US President's Malaria Initiative VectorLink Project works across 23 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, as well as Cambodia and Colombia, with the overall goal of reducing the burden of malaria. The project conducts robust entomological monitoring and equips countries to plan and implement integrated vector control interventions, including indoor residual spray and the delivery of insecticide-treated nets. Additionally, we work with our partners to build capacity in collecting and using data to make informed vector control decisions. The project is funded by the US President's Malaria Initiative, which is an interagency initiative led by USAID and implemented with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. VectorLink Collect, or VLC, is a DHIS2-based global ecosystem that supports 2 main data streams of the PMI VectorLink project. These 2 data streams are indoor residual spray, or IRS, and entomological monitoring. For both activities, we use event programs for data capture with large-scale use of categories and category options. In addition, there are generally 2 modes of on-site data collection: paper-based data collection forms with data entry clerks later entering into VLC at district data centers, and mobile data entry with field teams entering data into phones and tablets on-site. VectorLink Collect is a complex system with a lot of data coming in quickly from multiple data sources. And because of this, inevitably, we end up with a small percentage of duplicate records in our system. Since DHIS2 software does not have built-in functionality to detect duplicates in an event data model, we needed to develop and evolve custom solutions for our important but challenging quality control of finding duplicates among high volumes of data. Throughout 5 years of implementation, our approach to custom solutions for duplicate detection has evolved, and ultimately we see the ideal solution as one that accomplishes 2 key objectives: decentralization and automation. With PMI VectorLink's diverse data streams, duplicate events occur in our system for different reasons, which means we need different solutions to address them. For IRS campaigns, we have the IRS Duplicate Finder, which is a proven tool used to flag duplicates, structure numbers for our IRS campaigns. And for entomology, our solutions have evolved over time from an event report Excel option to a Tableau solution, and finally a custom-built DHIS2 application. The first solution is the IRS Duplicate Finder. It's a custom Python scripted external tool developed by BAO Systems for the VectorLink project. For PMI VectorLink IRS campaigns, every eligible structure located within a targeted region is assigned a unique identifier, commonly referred to as an IRS number, which is used to distinguish that structure. And for many different reasons, duplicate IRS numbers is a common data quality concern, and the IRS Duplicate Finder allows end users to search thousands of events to locate them. The tool resides outside of DHIS2, and users log into the application using their VLC credentials. Once logged in, users will see the window that is shown on the left. They can enter relevant dates, organization units, and modes of data entry. And when run, the tool interacts with the VLC server, pulling 5,000 events at a time, and evaluates each IRS number to see if that number exists in other events. And if it does, it checks if that event is within the parameters set by the users. And then if the criteria are met, the events are grouped together and displayed in a pop-out window, where a list of events can be exported or opened in the DHIS2 Capture app. There are many key benefits to the IRS Duplicate Finder. It is designed to handle extremely large event counts through the pagination process. It also has convenient features that allow end users to export the listing of duplicates with a lot of key information for that event, and it allows users to access the event within the Capture app on the server. And then last but not least, it is decentralized and automated. Users with a VLC login and appropriate access can run the tool, and it is a point-and-click tool that users can easily navigate for their duplicate finding needs. This is a great solution that is an important data quality tool for IRS campaigns. However, there are some challenges at times. The app must be installed locally on all individual computers used for data cleaning and updated on those computers when new versions are released. When processing large amounts of data for an entire IRS dataset, runtimes can sometimes span many hours. And related to that, because it can take many hours, a reliable internet connection is needed to keep a connection while running the tool. And lastly, because this application resides outside of DHIS2, it doesn't automatically update when we upgrade to a new DHIS2 version. So with every upgrade, thorough testing is required to ensure it still works. Now that we've discussed the IRS Duplicate Finder, let's talk about entomological monitoring data and the solutions we've developed to address duplicates in our entomology data sets. There are 5 entomology event programs in VectorLink Collect. They are distinct from the IRS data collection forms as well as distinct from one another. Data entry forms are quite long. One of the programs has more than 1,200 data elements. This increases the time of completion and can increase entry fatigue, which can lead to data entry errors and duplicate entries in the system. Our solutions related to entomology have evolved over time. Early in implementation, there was a need for a solution to identify these duplicates to help us find these data entry errors and correct them. And ideally, we needed an option that we could get up and running quickly with minimal front-end development. The answer to this was a combination of DHIS2 event reports and Excel. The first step in this process was creating an event report for each program that pulled relevant data points, including category options, and downloading the data sets as CSV files. We discovered early on that we could copy the Analytics API from the Network tab of the developer tools and use that API call to streamline the download process. And next we populate an Excel template with the data from the CSV files. Formulas were used to concatenate key data points, and that's used as the event's unique identifier string. And these unique identifiers are counted across all records, and ones with more occurrence in the data set were considered possible duplicates. And finally, this information was then packaged and disseminated to our entomology teams, who reviewed the data, made quality decisions about the duplicate entries, and cleaned the data accordingly. This solution was effective in many ways. We used DHIS2 event reports and Excel, which are available to most DHIS2 implementers. It required minimal upfront LOE to implement, and we were able to use the DHIS2 Analytics API, making repetition of downloading the data faster. And lastly, outside of Excel, there wasn't a need for additional software development. And as I mentioned earlier, this option was created as a quick solution for finding duplicates for entomology in the early stages of implementation. But ultimately, there were some disadvantages to this option. First, decentralization wasn't appropriate for all end users. The size of the data pool made downloading data not feasible for some end users. It was a multi-step process that could be difficult to follow, which increased the risk of missing a step and producing unreliable results. And it was an iterative point-in-time account of duplicates that was needed weekly. Additionally, the solution was difficult to automate and continued to be a manual process. Because of this, a large majority of the work remained in the hands of the system administrator. And finally, there were some limitations in Excel. Large data sets could take a long time to process and tie up Excel resources. And when trying to run large amounts of data for all years and all countries, for example, Excel could become unresponsive when trying to calculate all the formulas. Ultimately, because of the need for automation and decentralization, we looked for other solutions. However, many key aspects of this process were used in the development of new tools, like using the API and the duplicate identification method. The next solution that evolved for entomology is the Tableau duplicate report. Let's take a moment to review what this process looks like. Starting in DHIS2, data is pulled from event programs through the Analytics API, the same API pulls we used in the previous solution. The data are pushed into a MySQL database on a secure Amazon EC2 instance and transformed using a Python script. The exports are set to run daily and replace the previous sets of data pulls stored on the MySQL database. And the Tableau workbook connects to the database and the dashboard presents the results. And lastly, certain members of the M&E staff have login access to the dashboard where they can view results, download data, and click on event links to connect them with the VLC server. Here are a couple of screenshots of the Tableau dashboard. The dashboard displays all 5 entomology programs, and all countries are represented across the top. Green squares signified that no duplicates were found, and gold and brown tones indicate that varying levels of duplicates exist. You can hover over the squares to see more information in the tooltip. And when you click on a square, a line list report will appear at the bottom of the dashboard, as shown on the right, where you can access DHIS2 Capture App event links. And compared to the previous solution, one of the improvements achieved is automation. And then additionally, with this being Tableau, the color-coded data visualization makes it easier to see where duplicates exist. And with one click, users can drill down to get more information and click on links that will take them to the event in the Capture app. And lastly, getting us a step closer to decentralization, some members in the entomology team can log into the secure server where the Tableau dashboard resides and have direct access to the dashboard. But this option doesn't achieve complete decentralization, which we will talk about next. So what are the challenges of this solution? Since the dashboard resides in Tableau, all users are required to have a Tableau license to interact with the dashboard, which limits how many end users can have access. And acquiring and maintaining Tableau licensing in general can be challenging for many organizations. Other potential challenges with this solution are the time and cost associated with the front-end development of a workflow such as this, knowledge of tools such as MySQL, Python, and Tableau, and access to a secure external database where data can reside to make transformation and connectivity to Tableau possible. So that's it for the Tableau solution. Now I'll turn it over to Anthony, who will talk about the 4th solution.
Thank you, Laurie. So our latest solution, the Duplicate Finder, is a custom data application. The Duplicate Finder is an internally developed tool that builds on the Excel and Tableau solutions we use in identifying and addressing duplicate entries in our entomology datasets. The tool is a DHIS2 application that is being developed using the DHIS2 application platform provided by the DHIS2 core team to help developers build DHIS2 applications. The application platform simplify and standardize the development of DHIS2 applications. A DHIS2 application is basically a web application that runs HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code in a web browser and is installed in a DHIS2 server as an application. We utilize the application platform for the development of this solution because it provides a platform that enables us to meet our goal of automation and decentralizing how we identify and address duplicate entries in VectorLink Collect. The application platform provides build-time developer tools and runtime libraries that can be used by application developers to build DHIS2 application. The runtime libraries provide common functionalities such as authentication, UI components, routing, alerts, and API data fetching. This allows us to focus on writing code to find duplicates instead of writing code to handle authentication, routing, and other common functionalities that are found in every web application. The build-time developer tools simplify the process of bundling the application source, dependencies, runtime libraries, and the deployment of bundled application to VectorLink Collect. Using the build script that is included in the build-time developer tools, it allows us to build a production app bundle. The deploy script deploys the application bundle to VectorLink Collect. By utilizing these scripts, we can deploy the application to different VectorLink Collect environments quickly and easily. This allows us to test the application on our development and test servers before moving it to the production server. Next slide, please. So here I'll touch on some key benefits of the latest solution we are using. The application, which is a duplicate finder, is installed directly on the VectorLink Collect service. And this is important because we do not have to move data to an external database or make API calls from an external application to access the data we need to analyze. Also, this solution provides consistent DHIS2 end user experience, and it also provides the greatest decentralized use by our entomology teams because the application is installed in the DHIS2 server. Users are authenticated and authorized before they have access to the duplicate finder, as well as other core applications like the import and export app, which is also comes together with every DHIS2 installation. Building web application takes time to build or develop, and by using the application platform to develop the solution, we are provided with out-of-the-box functionalities like authentication and data fetching, and this allows us to focus on how to implement the business logic of finding duplicates. Next slide, please. So some challenges we found whilst developing this solution is that for you to be able to use the application platform requires knowledge of web development, and this includes skills like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Also, the application platforms requires application developers to have some basic understanding of the React framework. And currently, the platform does not support other JavaScript frameworks like Angular and Vue.js. So application developers that are not familiar with the React ecosystem must learn the fundamentals of React to be able to use the application platform to develop DHIS2 applications. I'll turn it over to Laurie.
Thanks, Anthony. In summary, PMI VectorLink has employed multiple duplicate detection solutions to ensure data quality across VectorLink Collect event programs. These tools have evolved over time as we've continued to learn, make improvements, and work towards better solutions. Ultimately, we see duplicate finding tools living within DHIS2 using built-in DHIS2 functionality as those with the longest life and broadest applicability. And our most recent efforts to create a DHIS2 custom application could present a clear path to a duplicate detection tool available to others who may want to use or adopt a similar metadata packages for their vector control data. And there are many key factors that have allowed us to achieve increased automation, decentralization, and sustainability in our custom tools. And those are the use of the DHIS2 analytics and event endpoint APIs, building from the DHIS2 application platform, extensive end user testing and feedback, and access to experienced application developers. If you have any questions or would like to find out more details about any of these solutions, please feel free to contact us through the DHIS2 Community of Practice. And that's it. Thank you so much for your time today.